Colleagues, I'm filming this podcast so that members are absolutely clear on why Executive has asked them to attend a Community Day of Action on the 1st of April. The Barnett Government's cuts to education are an attack on our public schools. In total, they equal $180 million that's been cut from school budgets, and that comprises up to 600 full-time equivalent teaching staff lost and 500 education assistant positions and support staff positions also lost. This May, the state government will release the 2014-15 state budget, and Colin Barnett has flagged further cuts to public schools. At a time when our state economy is booming, cuts such as these to Western Australian public schools are simply unacceptable. They will, and in fact they are already, impacting on our ability to deliver what your kids and grandkids deserve: equitable access to a high quality, well-funded public education. The recently announced $500 million increase in GST revenue provides Colin Barnett an opportunity to re-establish his commitment to education and return the $180 million that he's cut from our public schools. Feedback from schools so far this year report larger class sizes, a reduction in subject curriculum options, less individual support for students who need it, less money to buy and or replace resources in classrooms, extension and remediation programs being cut, and further reductions in time for important support staff such as truancy officers, youth workers, school psychologists, social workers and education assistants. Some schools are even reporting that the school nurse time has been cut. School camps, excursions cannot be funded. All of these cuts are undermining the high quality education our schools are able to deliver to their students. Members mustn't forget that 2014 is only the beginning of the state government cutback agenda for public schools. 2015 will see further cuts. The state government argues, among other things, that the cutbacks are in preparation for the introduction of a student-centred funding model, which is to be introduced in 2015. While the SSTUWA doesn't oppose a student-centred funding model, similar to that outlined in the Gonski report, to introduce this model on top of these cuts is totally unacceptable. It will mean that WA schools will be shortchanged permanently. Let's not forget that the Gonski report recommended an increase of $920 million for Western Australian schools, not a funding cut. During the last Stop Work action in September, SSTUWA members passed a resolution as follows: that this community campaign include action of a political, industrial and social nature and continue for such a time as is required to bring about a reverse in the budget cuts for 2013 and 2014. The decision to undertake a second full-day stop work action is one that has been considered by Executive very carefully. It has not been taken lightly. It's an action intended to send a powerful message to the state government in advance of the budget. We must continue to increase pressure on the Barnett government and vocalise our opposition to the education cuts, or they will continue. Make no mistake, our actions are having an effect. While the cuts have not yet been reversed, local members of Parliament are feeling the pressure and the community is overwhelmingly on our side. The SSTUWA understands the seriousness of ordering stop work action and its implications on members, schools and families. However, in the context of $180 million cut from public schools and potentially many more cuts on the way, this action is absolutely critical. For us to do nothing, I think, would leave us open to some regret in the future. Our pressure must continue until the Barnett government recognises and acts on the legitimate concerns of public school teachers, school leaders, parents and other staff in relation to the funding cuts which are compromising every public school's ability to provide its students equitable access to a high quality public education. Thank you.